Take a comfortable seat on your mat. Sit nice and tall through the spine. Take a moment to turn your gaze inward or just low. A few breaths perhaps to reflect on the practices that we've shared in the last week, this last month. Here we are recording this live on April 30th, so the last day of the month. I have worked this month with the mantra, be present. Those 2 words, be present. Notice how that's falling for you right here, right now. Are you present in the way that you're sitting on the mat? Present through each breath? And also present as in a gift to be here. The ability to practice, to move. Just take it in. Full breath in, complete exhale out. And staying in this intention, each movement, each breath of the practice, see the gift that it is. Gently open the eyes. Okay, and we're gonna start today actually with that yoga block if you have it. If not, no big deal. You pretend like you're holding one and lie down onto your back. This is a different warm-up. If you've got the block, you're gonna hold it right at the front of your shins. If not, it's just a normal hug of the knees into the chest. And so it's just a little bit of an assist here to keep our focus and attention. All I want you to do is lift your head and shoulders off of the mat. It's a little crunch, and then lower it down. We're doing repetitions of 10 here in this warm-up. It's up and down. Gentle lift of head and shoulders up, lower down. So it's that upper abdominal crunch. Right away, bringing a little bit of heat and focus to the rectus abdominis, the front. We call that the most kind of superficial layer of the abdomen, really, in terms of the muscles. I haven't been counting, but I'm going to go with 4 more. Up and down. Up and down. 2 more. Make sure to tuck the chin in so it doesn't feel too heavy on the head and neck. And then you keep the head, neck, shoulders down towards the mat. Arms straight up, legs straight up. Make the hands or the block touch your feet. Keeping the block in your hands, open up. And then you're going to switch. Each time the feet come up, they're now going to hold on to the block, go down, switch it to the hands, go down, switch it to the feet, go down. I'm keeping back of the head and shoulders on the mat now so that we're a little bit more focused on creating a long line through the front of the body, even as we strengthen here. We're doing this for 4 and 3 and 2 And 1. Bend the knees back into the chest, set the soles of the feet down to the mat. We've got 1 more repetition of 10. If you're working with your block, put it in between your thighs, palms down on the ground, look straight up, a little lift of the chin away from the chest. And it's a active movement of bridge pose. So lift the hips up, squeeze around the block and glutes, and then lower it down. We've got 8 more here. Up and down. So getting a little warm up through the glutes and hamstrings as we continue to find that long flow of a line through the front of the body. I'm going to say we're at 4 and down, 3 and down, 2 and 1. Block fun out of the way. So set that block out of the way. And now stretch the arms again overhead. Hopefully that's brought a little quick heat into the body, giving us some focus there into the core. From here, just flip over onto your belly. Cobra. And this can be what I call more of the physical therapy version of Cobra, where you do straighten out the arms and try to be a little more relaxed in the lower body. In the active versions of the practice, I'll ask us to really squeeze in and tighten for protection. We're giving ourselves a little more time here. Open up. Easier breaths. You could call it the yin yoga approach. I just know when I go to physical therapy, they want more of this. And then release it all the way down and push back to child's pose. A little bit of heat along with a little bit of release, balancing us out to get started. Okay, this is gonna look a little bit more like our typical start. Now walk the hands over to once in child's pose, walk the hands over towards the right side. Reach out to the left hand, pull back on the left hip. Walk the hands across the center and over towards the left side. And today, if I were to pick just one pose that this class is about, it's bridge pose. But we're really not going to see bridge pose come up all that much. We just did those repetitions. We'll do it again at the end of class. But it's just that as we work through the practice, the poses, the sequences are going to help to open up, to create the strength and the length, I hope, to have a really nice experience in bridge pose when we get there. Okay, come back to the center and downward facing dog. All fours, tuck the toes, lift the hips. Here in down dog, let's pedal out the feet a bit, shake out the head a little bit. And then find some stillness in the outer form. Kind of settle in for several rounds of breath and down dog. That settling in really looks like a lot of inner work. Press the hands down and forward, hips high the whole time. Think thighs back and wide, heels down towards the mat. As ever, that tone of navel in towards the spine as you squeeze the tips of the shoulder blades in towards each other. All of that happening while it looks like a still picture on the outside. All right, good stuff. Come on down to all fours, cat and cow. Work through. Go once more back to downward facing dog. Walk your hands into your feet. Ragdoll pose. Hold on to your elbows. Be really draped over the front side of the body. Let yourself be heavy. Release, release, release. Okay, gently roll yourself up to standing. Shoulders up and back. I've probably got a few of you turned around, backwards, all that good stuff. Take your time to walk up to the front end of your yoga mat. And finding the front end of your mat, lift the arms up to the sky, big full stretch. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift, extend from the hips out to the crown of the head. And step it back to plank pose. From the top of your push-up, lower the knees today. And then lower chest and chin. Keep the butt up in the air. Hug the elbows close into your sides. So we're in that 8-point pose, little grasshopper. And then pull it into cobra. Now downward facing dog. Adding on here, look in between your hands and bring your right foot in between. Step it up a few steps. Find your full stride. Take it into the twist, right hand high. Lower the right hand to the inside of your foot. Spin the back heel down. Down dog lunge. Walk the hands out. Broaden the right knee a bit away from the right shoulder. The hands can always walk more towards the side. Long length of the mat. We do this a lot. Great prep and opening through inner thighs here. Great way to strengthen and put presence down into our feet. Okay, walk the hands back in. Keep it on the inside of your foot. And now lower the left knee down to the mat. And pull the left heel in towards your seat. I'm just looking to stretch the front of your thigh here. So you can do that with hands down. If there's a little bit more room and challenge that you want, reach the right hand, hold on to your left foot. And that'll probably bring you a little bit more or a lot more stretch into the front of the thigh and hip flexor. Okay, release the back foot. And then stretch the right leg straight, kick the hips back for that hamstring stretch. I've been doing these 4 poses a lot more at the beginning of class. It is something I've long put into my personal practice because it gets 360 all the way around the hips, pelvis. We're working stretch through the front of the thighs, the back of the thighs, the inner thigh, and the outer thigh. It's a nice little warm up. Okay, we can bring it back around to all fours. Downward facing dog. So if you're ever practicing on your own and you think, I don't know what to do to start, these 4 lunges, really good way to start. Left foot forward. Square off the hips, and you should feel it. You lift the left hand up, and it gives you more tension into the outer band, from outer knee to outer hip there. And then we give it the counter stretch, back heel down, walk the hands out. And we're looking at front leg in particular, inner thigh. So the more that you bend the left knee, the more it rotates out over the second and third toes, the more you get into that. Okay, and then we come back into our low lunge, lower the right knee down, pull the right heel in, front of the thigh. And by the time you get both sides done, you've done all 4 sides of the legs. You can go same hand or different hand. And then we'll kick it back into the hamstring stretch for the front leg. Simply walk the hands closer to the line of the knee on the mat. If I need a little more height, kick the back leg over to bring the hands up to the hips. So you've got a little ease in keeping balance and more control on how deep you go in the stretch. Okay, all seems good there. Let's come back around to all fours. Little wag of the hips, side to side. Downward facing dog. Okay, just for fun. Meaning if it's not fun for you, don't do it. Do something different. Look towards your hands, bend your knees, and jump, butt up and down. And I want you to try that jump 5 more times. Bend the knees. We're trying to get our hips something like over the line of the shoulders. Little pike through the legs. Just get in some heat, fun, creativity. Do it once or twice more. Why not? If the arms start to bend a lot, stop doing that. Go back to straight arms and work on that first. Okay, and then just kind of crawl up to the front of the mat, walk up to the front, half lift, forward fold, stand up, reach the arms to the sky, and palms together, center of the chest. Those moments of acting, asking for a little something different. I don't jump that much. I don't go upside down that much in my practice anymore. It's just like re-click, be present right here. Why not? Take a breath in and out. Okay, arms up to the sky, big reach. Exhale, forward fold. Let's keep the right foot forward. Step your left foot back into your long, low lunge. Warrior 2, spin the back heel down, line up heel to heel, or heel to the midline of the back foot. That's a little more challenging. Rotate all the way upright into Warrior 2. So Warrior 2. Head, shoulders, hips, all in line with one another. So try not to lean the hips forward. That kind of brings us out of that plumb line. We want one line, hips and shoulders over each other. And that usually sort of lets the legs, the head go along the way with you. Side angle pose here today. Right elbow down to the knee, top arm palm down overhead. Familiar reach. And I want you to look down back at your right foot and place the hands to the inside. Pick up the back heel. Rotate again to your low lunge. And then try this with hands flat on the ground or hands underneath a yoga block. Little push-ups. Bend the elbows and straighten. It's like a push-up in your upper body. I'm getting a coffee delivery. That's awesome. Thanks, honey. Bend and straighten. and bend and straighten. Lower your left knee down to the mat, the back knee, and try going down to your forearms here, forearms underneath the ground or underneath a yoga block. Keep extending your right knee forward over the second and third toes. Okay, instead of the push-ups with our arms, can we do a couple of push-ups with the back leg? So lift the left knee off of the mat and then bend, little tap down and up, bend, little tap down, up, tap and stay. Walk it back up to your hands. Walk it all the way up to your front thigh. Think hips down and forward here and reach the arms up to the sky. Imagine that you're holding onto the yoga block in between your hands and try to get it an inch or two higher up towards the sky here. Big length in the sides of the torso. And lower the hands all the way back down. Step the left foot forward, front of the mat. Always feels heavy there. Give yourself a moment. We're going to switch to the second side. So left foot stays forward and step your right foot back. Spin the back heel down. Again, heel to heel or heel to the mid step. Instep. Warrior two, come on upright. Tone in the belly. Don't lean forward, don't lean back, right into the center. Side angle pose, elbow to the knee, top arm, palm down overhead, big reach. Give it a couple of breaths. Look down to the mat. Take the hands down to the inside of your foot as you do that. Spin back into your long, low lunge. Again, with hands on floor or under the height of a block for more ease, we set palms down and then it's little push-ups down and up, down and up, down and up. Come down to the forearms. Right knee down to the mat. Hold for a moment. And then that push-up action through the back leg. So we lift the knee, straighten the leg as much as we can. Stretch it out, front knee to back heel. And then little tap down and up. Little tap and up. Little tap and stay. So you've already got your legs in a great position here. Walk it back up to the hands. Walk it back up to your front thigh. From navel, think of lifting higher, higher, higher. Take the arms with you. It's the same stretch and opening through the front side of the body and the hip flexors that we use in bridge pose. Okay, lower the hands down either side of the front foot. Lift the back knee up and step the right foot forward. Standing forward fold there for a moment. Keep all 10 fingers on the ground and make the legs only as straight as they'll go with the fingers still touching. We got hands to hips. Point the elbows up to the sky. Push down into your feet. Come all the way up to standing. How we doing? Take a wide-legged stance on the long side of your mat. Face either way. Long side of your mat, though. Feet out, toes straight ahead, heels straight back. Extend the arms out like a big star. Yeah? Okay, let's go for triangle pose here. I haven't been mirroring you, so I'm not going to try. Everybody turn your right toes out. Look towards your right. Extend as far as you can. Rather than grabbing a block now, I want you to hold on to your bottom leg and lift the left arm up to the sky. All right, so we've got the extension in the arms and legs, and I say no block because I'm gonna make you work a little differently here. Now, bend your elbows and bring your fingertips together right in front of the chest, and try to keep extending your head straight out where it was. This is a great indication, like, was I overusing, over-relying on arms? Remember, strengthen the legs and torso here, and you're with it for 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend the arms and come back upright. All right, we know what's coming. Second side. I'm sneaking in that resistance work today. Look out over the left fingertips. Extend as far as you can to the left. And then drop the left hand down. Okay, so if I overextend and reach here, I can go all the way to the ground. But if I'm all the way down there, I can't then bring my fingertips in and hold it. So I know, okay, I'm gonna stay a little bit higher and then try. Fingertips together, try to point the right elbow straight up to the sky, left elbow straight down to the floor. Really press down and out through your feet. Feel a lift in the base of the pelvic floor and tone in the abdomen. And straighten the arms, come back upright. Turn the feet back parallel to one another. Wide-legged forward fold. You get to go down. Hands to the ground, head towards the ground here in Prasarita Padottanasana. I've heard some really incredible smart yoga teachers pronounce it Prasarita Padottanasana, so I don't know. My teachers taught me Prasarita. What matters here is that it feels right to you. Nice long full stretch to the back of the legs will help us as we need to power up in bridge pose. Look towards your front foot and circle back around to a low lunge. And step it back to downward facing dog. Take a child's pose. Knees as wide as your yoga mat, big toes together, and sit on back. Let your arms and your head relax for a moment. Really feel the width of the breath expansion here out towards the sides of the waistline. Breathing heavy, belly down towards the mat. Okay, and then we're just going to change this angle a little bit. So if you lean more weight onto the hands, onto the forearms, and now point your knees straight ahead, your heels straight back. So it's like a child's pose version of hero. Big toes can stay together, but knees are about hip distance apart. And the breath should land a little different, like pushing hard against the thighs. Push more air and attention into the back body here. And come all the way upright and finish closing the knees off. So now thighs all the way together. Sit straight back on the heels. This is another moment where a yoga block might come in handy and you could sit on the block instead of your heels. to help out if you have any too tight tension in the knees there. Set the palms just down along the thighs. Close the eyes or turn your gaze low. And we're still continuing to bring ourselves more and more fully into the present moment by managing and taking deep awareness of every breath that we take. I have always been one to draw a lot of focus to my breath and the practice of it. I've just finished reading an incredible book by James Nestor, Breath. It's a New York Times bestseller. It's really good because it brings a lot of these pranayama practices full circle, I think, for Western folks to understand the need, reasons, and abilities of the breath. Keep breathing. Don't let it be a passive experience. In and out through the nose, big belly breaths. And we're doing a lot of passive, maybe not so passive work. Maybe you notice a lot. Work through the front of your feet, ankles, and thighs as you sit here. We'll change the seat, come back out to all fours. Stretch your right leg up and back behind you. Flex the foot, point the toes down towards the floor. Let's go back to how we started with the 10 active pulses. Go up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the lift, extend the left arm out in front, so opposite arm and leg, giving you that long, full extension. And lower the left hand, lower the right leg. Second side, lift the left leg up and back, flex the foot, point the toes down. Start with the pulses up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and extend the right arm out in front. Lower the right hand, lower the left leg, stretch it out to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lift your right leg up into the air, three-legged dog. And now step it all the way forward into your low lunge. And into half moon. Balance on your right hand, right leg. Lift your left leg off of the mat, left arm up to the sky. Can you pull your elbow and knee in towards one another? Woo, it's gonna probably throw you a little off balance. It did me. Try to fold in, kind of cat back, and then extend it back out. Lift and open. Pull it back in one more time. The right leg can stay bent the whole time. It doesn't have to go straight. And extend and open back to half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. And then lower it all the way back into your low lunge. One more addition here. Bring the hands up to the front thigh and add a twist. Left elbow towards the right side. You can stay more lifted Or hook the elbow to the outside of the thigh. Okay, we unwind. Step it back to plank pose. Knees, chest, chin today. 8-point pose. Keep the hips lifted. Again, that little grasshopper shape. Peel through for cobra. And back to downward facing dog. We do this on the second side. Lift the left leg up, three-legged dog. And step it all the way through to your long, low lunge. Take your time, get it there. Then half moon. So hop the back foot in until you can find the weight on the front hand, front foot. And lift the right side up and open towards the sky. Cat back, curl the elbow and knee in towards the chest. And open up. Do it one more time, curl it in. And open it up. Control it as you go all the way back down to your low lunge. Plank pose. Knees, chest, and chin. Cobra. One last downward facing dog. And then you can set the knees down, sit all the way down on your butt, extend your legs out in front of you. Oops, I forgot. Add it in, go for it. And then join me when you're ready. I guess I didn't want to do it on that side, I don't know. All right, once you've found your seat, no rush. Once you're here though, join me in a seated forward fold. Arms can be on the mat or hold on to your feet. If you happen to hold on to your feet, let's extend the elbows out to the sides. Look towards your feet and keep pulling yourself through. And then enough of this, come back upright. Take your right foot in like it's in tree pose. And then we're going to open the hips out to the side. Twist so that you're looking towards your extended leg. There should be a careful twist in the torso there. And then try to fold over the left leg. So we want the right knee pointed more behind us rather than straight out to the side here. A little more look at the adduction, adduction, and stretch. Okay, and then you come up and we stay on the same leg, and now situate your right heel all the way up and over towards your left hip. So now the thighs have to squeeze in towards each other, more of the abduction as you fold over in what I like to call holy cow pose. It's cow leg there on top, cow face leg. Okay, Okay, and then we come up and extend both legs back out. Second side, I won't forget this, left foot in. So if the knee is first faced out to the side, we're gonna pull it a little wider. My heel ends up right at the center of the pelvis. And if I didn't twist, I would be falling over the center of the body. I'm gonna twist and try to reach as best as I can. Maybe even left hand to the outside of the right foot. Oh, it always feels harder on the side. I don't know about you guys. And then you'll come back upright. One of the fascinations always of this yoga asana practice is like seeing at times, and that was a strong one for me, the imbalance that is happening. Okay, left heel to the outside of the right hip and fold it over. As you make your way back up, extend the left leg, give everything a little bit of a pat. Finally, we're gonna lay down and take bridge pose. So lie down onto your back, soles of the feet to your yoga mat. Take your hands and brush so that you can just barely touch your heels or almost touch your heels. Some of you might have a really deep flexion ability in the knees and the heels can easily come in closer. Don't overly shorten your pose here. Just barely reach towards those heels. Okay, and then back of the head and shoulders flat down on the mat. We've always got our feet flat down on the mat. And let's just give it a go. We do bridge pose most classes, so we'll find it here. Lift up. Hold on to the edges of your yoga mat if your shoulders feel best there. A little bit more room and space in the body. Interlace the hands underneath you. And then you kind of roll to one side, try to tuck the shoulder in. Roll to the other side, try to tuck the shoulder in. Give it like 20% more push down into your feet and see if that can rebound the hips, thighs, butt a little higher up. The higher you lift, keep squeezing the glutes. Slight little tuck of the chin so that your eye gaze, I'm hoping, is watching the fullness of your breath rise and fall in the belly. Good stuff there. If you feel pain in your knees when you do bridge pose, ever so slightly, take a wider stance. Still pain, ever so slightly, turn your toes out a little bit. Like, why not? If it brings pain differently, you have to keep finding and changing. Be that best teacher and advocate for yourself. Lower it down. And just take pause. There's always a little something magic extra for me at the bottom half of this bridge pose. Just take pause. Then we're going to try it again. Exact same setup. Hands brush close to the heels. If that taught you that you need your feet a tiny bit wider, even toes a little turned out, go ahead. And then lift up. Hands together, slide the shoulders in. Okay, stay, work here. More challenge. Pull the right knee into the chest. Stretch the foot straight up to the sky. Can you imagine that you had both feet there and you were having to squeeze that yoga block like we did at the beginning right into your midline? That's going to help you out. And then bend the knee again and set the foot down and go into the second side. Knee into the chest. Push it up. Knee into the chest and set the foot down. Release the hands, lower the hips. Give it that little momentary pause. Kind of slide the shoulders back out. I'm going to give you one more bridge pose option. The first two are open to you to try again. This third option builds on the first. So we've all got to start there. Brush against those heels again. Make sure you've got your good alignment and space. We'll call this one building bridge pose. It goes to straighter legs. So first, you find your bent knee position. Lift your hips up. Same hands, interlace. Roll the shoulders a little more up and in. Keep looking straight up to the sky. So head, neck, shoulders, stay happy with us. Okay, for building bridge, you're literally just crawling your feet further out towards the top edge of your mat, making the legs straighter as you go, but not letting the hips fall down. The legs do not have to go all the way straight. You could even heel toe the feet closer together. I usually end up with feet together, but knees still a little bit apart, just what works best. Play with it. And then you have to pull back into more of the bent knee position. We're all back to where we started. Release the hands and lower the hips down. Goodness, pull the knees into your chest. Take the arms out to a T shape and let both legs fall over towards the right side in a supine twist. I think it's the intensity of the muscles having to fire in bridge pose that always makes this supine twist a little more accessible for me after the fact. Muscles are still ready to fully hug in both sides of the sacrum and give you support as you move into the twist. Let's go to the second side. Those hip flexors get to calm down here. And then bring it back into the center. Slowly bring yourself back to a seated position. Should say more like carefully. So I'm going to set us up for a bit of a restorative pose just using your one yoga block. If now is the time you're thinking, I didn't grab that block, but I've got a blanket or bolster, something like that nearby, you could use that as well. It's going to be really simple though. We've done a little bit of this lengthening and stretch through the front side of the body, ending with good amount of opening in the chest, and so I just want to keep exaggerating that for this last portion. I'm going to set the block on the very base, lowest height, and I find tips of the shoulder blades, typically if you wear a bra, right where it hits, and like you're trying to arch over the block. It might be a little much, and it is for me, and so I just use the hands behind the head to give a little bit of support. You could also, if you happen to have, again, a blanket nearby, just slide that underneath like a pillow. For some of you, it might be just head as back is fine. And then extend the legs out. And if you're thinking, you had me until I extended the legs, don't extend the legs. Keep the soles of the feet flat on the mat. If you are using the blanket instead of a block to start with, you're just rolling it up kind of like a Tootsie Roll and arching over that same point, upper back. Try it out, give it a minute or two in your position, and then you could choose to stay longer, or I'll mention when a good time would be to release for a different Shavasana. I started a little personal meditation challenge April 1st, and I've been meditating a little bit each day. When I notice I'm particularly agitated, I'll put myself into a restorative position like this that takes just a little bit of work to keep the mind focused and attentive, and try the meditation from there. If you've started around the time I did, it's 2 minutes. Feel free to stay there longer or to adjust to your final Shavasana, final resting position, be it lying down or seated. Ever so slowly bring attention, awareness back to breath and body together. A little more movement. Take your time to come back to a seated position if not already there. Closing out our April practices with the present moment meditation that we began. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. Again, breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. Calming, smiling, present moment, wonderful moment. Draw your palms together, thumbs to the sternum, giving great honor, gratitude to yourself, each other, and for the fullness of this practice. I always like to close us and move from one place to the next through the transitional sound of Om. Sing along, listen, or tune this out. Exhale here. Deep breath in. Namaste.